All right, let's just get right into this. I want you to picture the scene. We're on the very edge of a brutal war zone at a place called Sigma 7. Now, this isn't some hardened fortress or a key military base. No, it's a refugee hospital. It's supposed to be a sanctuary, and it's about to become 16 minutes of absolute hell.
And who's inside? Huddled behind these thin walls are 3,000 kids. These are orphans, children separated from their families, wounded, but they are the future. And right now, they are completely, utterly trapped.
And this number? That's how many people are standing between those kids and total annihilation. 30. Not a battalion, not a company, just 30 warriors. That's it.
But here's the number that really matters. 16. That's the countdown. That's how many minutes these 30 warriors have to hold an impossible line. Just 16 minutes until the final evac transport can get those children out of there and to safety.
So who's leading this desperate defense? It's a guy named Commander Kethron. And listen to this. He's already wounded. His arm is a mess from an enemy weapon. He should have been on one of the first ships out, but he refused to go. He stayed. He stayed to lead this defense because he more than anyone understood the grim reality they were all facing.
He gets the brutal mathematics of it all. It's his 30 warriors against an enemy called the Yeleth. Now, the sensors are picking up 50 of what they call prism troops, and each one of those isn't a single soldier. It's a unit of 5 linked bodies, all controlled by one mind. So do the math. That's 250 attackers. The odds aren't just bad, they're a death sentence.
And this just makes it crystal clear. This is not a mission about winning. It's about buying time, plain and simple. Kethron lays it out for a small team. The goal isn't victory, it's survival. But not their own. It's for the 3,000 kids behind them. He just asks them one thing. Can we give them 16 minutes?
And just like that, it starts. As the sun cracks the horizon, the Yeleth attack. The source material calls them a river of glass and death. Just this flowing tide of 250 crystalline bodies surging towards them. The clock is ticking. The 16 minutes of hell have begun.
Kethron's smart, right? He uses the terrain, funneling his warriors into these narrow choke points to try and counter the sheer numbers of the enemy. The attack kicks off with 16 minutes on the clock. For 3 minutes, an agonizing 3 minutes, the line holds. It's a storm of screaming energy and shattering crystal. But his warriors are falling. By the time that clock hits 11 minutes left, the first position is completely overrun. Kethron has no choice but to pull his remaining people back.
And the cost, oh man, the cost is just staggering. After only 5 minutes of fighting, 5 warriors are already down. That leaves 25. Sure, they've taken out 50 enemy bodies, but that still leaves 200 more coming for them. The math is just getting worse and worse.
But the Yeleth, they're not just a brute force. They adapt. They stop the head-on assault and start pressing from 3 sides at once, trying to encircle what's left of the defenders. And in that moment, when everything seems completely lost, a single, raw cry erupts. It's a reminder of why they're there, and one by one, everyone left standing screams it with him. After that, the collapse is fast. With 9 minutes left, the second defensive line just shatters. And then, the worst possible news comes over the comms. A frantic message from the evacuation coordinator. They need more time. They need 10 more minutes. The defenders have to fall back all the way to the hospital entrance itself, forming one last, hopeless circle. 4 minutes to go, and the last of the kids are just now boarding the transport.
And this is how many are left to hold that final line. 10 warriors against a horde of hundreds, with the sound of frightened children right at their backs.
And then it happens. The moment they all feared. A breakthrough. A single prism troop, 5 bodies moving like a single deadly organism, just punches right through their crumbling line. It completely ignores the other defenders and makes a beeline straight for the hospital doors.
2 warriors throw themselves in its path and are just cut down instantly. No one else is close enough to stop it. No one, except Kethron. He runs, his wounded body screaming at him, and he plants himself right in that doorway. He is the last thing standing in its way. He stares down this 5-bodied killing machine, this perfectly coordinated storm of claws and crystal spears, and he makes his stand. 1 warrior against 5.
And what follows is just a masterclass in sheer, desperate will. The first body lunges, Kethron sidesteps, and its form shatters. The second drops from the ceiling.
He rolls under it and thrusts his spear straight through its core. Then bodies 3 and 4 attack at the same time, one high, one low. It's an impossible move to counter. So he doesn't. He charges inside their guard, taking a brutal gash, but shattering both of them. And now the last one, Body 5, is alone for the first time. And you know what? It hesitates. It actually seems to feel fear. It lunges wildly, and Kethron, bleeding out on one knee, drives his spear home one last time. And then, silence. The fight is over. Kethron turns, his vision closing in, and he sees an empty doorway, an empty corridor. The crying, the screaming, it's all gone. They did it. The kids are safe. And with that one final thought, he collapses.
You know the tragic irony of it all? Reinforcements arrive just 35 seconds later. They sweep through what's left of the Yellith, but they're too late to even join the fight. They find Kethron, unconscious, lying in a heap of shattered crystal from the 5 bodies he just destroyed.
When his rescuer gets to him, Kethron's eyes flutter open, and his first words, barely a whisper, they're not about the pain or the battle he just won. They're only about the mission.
And here's the official after-action report. It's all just cold, hard data. Total combat time, 19 minutes and 47 seconds. Defender losses, 22 dead, 8 critically wounded. But really, the only 2 lines on here that matter are the last 2. Civilians evacuated, 3,000 out of 3,000. Civilian losses, 0. Mission, success. They beat the brutal mathematics.
And this is the final word on it from Command. It perfectly captures the truth of it all. This was never about a piece of ground or a building. The 22 who died, the 8 who were broken, and the commander who became the final shield, they were defending something so much bigger.
Which really leaves us with this one final thought. The children made it. A future was bought for them, paid for with an unbelievable price. So the story isn't just about what happened in those 16 minutes of hell. It's about everything that has to happen next. How do you possibly honor a sacrifice like that? How do you build a future that is worthy of it?